welcome back to my channel. Today, ooh, is that a bugger? Sure is. Today we are going to be doing kind of like a laid back chit chat, get ready with me. I haven't done one of these since June, I believe, but I've had a really intense week, crazy weekend, and I want to share a few stories with you. So I figured why not just sit back, relax, and do our makeup together, and we can get ready together and hang out. So if you're interested, then don't forget to please subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so you know when I post, typically Wednesdays and Saturdays at 9 a.m. Pacific time, but definitely not today's video, if you guys saw on my Instagram story, because I'm actually filming it right now, Wednesday in the morning, because I had work yesterday, so I couldn't put it up today at 9 a.m. But anyway, yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get on into it. All right, so let's just go ahead and put our head back. I have my sweater weather candle on again because it is very chilly. It's actually getting quite cold here in Vegas, like it's in the 50s in the morning and like 60s to mid 70s during the day, which is really awesome. I mean, it is quite chilly, but it's definitely a welcomed change here in the land of the desert. Actually, you know what? No, I feel like it's a common misconception that Vegas is always hot. Vegas is not always hot. Actually, LA is having warmer weather than we are right now. And in the wintertime, it can get down to like 30 degrees, and then it even stays that way through like April. So maybe not 30 degrees, but it still stays cold. But yeah, I mean, it is the desert. It's hot during the summer, but it does get pretty cold in the fall and winter. By the way, I'm going in with the Too Faced Primed and Peachy Mattifying Primer to prime the face. I'm starting with my face today because I'm just running errands today. Then I'm going in with the Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Foundation. This is in the shade Medium Neutral, and I'm going to take that on my Morphe M439. This is just a synthetic kabuki brush. So on Saturday, October 6th, I actually had a few friends over to celebrate 1 year of Maple, my dog, being in my life. I'll insert a couple photos of her birthday party. So I actually got her a cake. I went to Wolfgang Bakery. I don't know if you guys may have a Wolfgang Bakery near you. They have several locations all across the US. And I got her a birthday cake, and I had it like custom made, so it was like peanut butter and banana flavored, and I got like red icing to match her red collar, and in white it says happy birthday Maple. I'll insert a photo. And I also requested that there be dog bones like all around it, so that, you know, my friends could take some home for their dogs, or if other dogs came to the to the park while we were having our birthday, I could give them bones, which was super cute. A lot of other dogs from the complex ended up just like coming randomly, and I ended up giving them treats, and you know, they got to interact. We were playing fetch. So my friends got her some dog toys, which I thought was super sweet and super cute, and she's been destroying them every day since, literally every day since that birthday party over a week ago. And yeah, I mean, it's super cute, and I'm just so grateful to everybody who showed up, and you know, my friends, my co-workers, and even my sister and my mom for like sending her gifts. She got a new bed, she got some new treats. It was awesome. I'm going in with the ColourPop No Filter Concealer in the shade Light 18, by the way, to highlight under my eyes. I'm obsessed with my dog. Literally, she's like the only thing I talk about with anybody. At work, at home, to my other friends here. Like, that dog is literally all I think about. She is all I have on my mind at all times. I'm also spot concealing with the ColourPop concealer in medium 30. Why not? I have a few breakouts around my chin because it is that time of the month. And fun fact, if you're wondering why you break out around your chin during the time of the month, it's because chin breakouts are typically associated with hormonal activities and hormonal levels. So that's probably why. And I always notice that during that time of the month, I will tend to usually break out in this area. So yeah, I'm just gonna blend that all in with this Beach Cosmetics number 5 brush from, I think, their Rose Gold collection. It's just a synthetic brush, and I just, you know, like to blend it because it gets into nice little nooks and crannies of my face. But yeah, that was really cool. That was like last Saturday the 6th. I, you know, obviously gave some cake home for my friend's dogs and stuff like that. So yeah, she is technically 3 years old. It was like her first adoption birthday. So the 6th really just marked me having her for 1 year. And it's great when my boyfriend's traveling for work. She's always there for me, and she's my little baby. All right, now that our cream base is set, I'm going to set my under eyes with the Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder in the shade Bababanana, which is a really fun name. I'm going to set that down with my e.l.f. small tapered brush. I'm going to set the rest of my face with the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores Press Powder. You guys are definitely going to see me talk about this in my favorites. It has basically been the only powder I've used all month, pretty much during the day when I just go to work. Okay, so last weekend, Connie, my best friend from preschool, and some other friends from LA decided to do a weekend trip. And we actually planned for her to come on the 13th because Connie had never been clubbing before. And, you know, I wanted to go to XS because, in my opinion, that is the best club we have here in Vegas. It's the least claustrophobic, in my opinion, because it is partially outdoors too. And you just feel more open, whereas I feel like a lot of other clubs here on the Strip, they're like indoors, or if they're not indoors, they just have like a random patio that you have to like go to, but it's not like the shared space, if that makes any sense. So the Chainsmokers were in town, and I had seen the Chainsmokers a few times before, and she was like, okay, like, you know, let's go see them. Like, you've seen them a few times before. Like, let's go see them if they're playing at XS this weekend, because it just so happens to be the weekend that not only we planned together, but also that worked for the rest of the friends to all come together. So I was like, cool. So I work weekends typically. I'm going to keep it moving as I tell you. I'm going to use the Kiko bronzer to bronze my face. I feel like I'm not gonna stop and tell you every single product. I'm just gonna like hold it up because I don't want to like stop to have to tell you, but everything will always be listed in the description box below. All the products I use, this pretty much goes for every video that I film, so if you don't know what I'm using, just check the description box below. So yeah, so I typically work weekends, and I knew that she was going to be coming here on the 13th, so I requested the 14th off, which was a Sunday. I requested that day off because I knew that, you know, we would be going out, and typically when you go clubbing, you don't get home till like 4 a.m. So obviously I was in no shape to go to work at 5:30 the next morning if, you know, that were to happen. So I requested the 14th off. We were all good to go, and I got our names on a guest list. I contacted a promoter here and got our names on a list so that we would be able to get into line and, you know, not have to wait and worry about buying tickets, which, okay, so Connie comes over, it's fine. We leave for the club at around 10:30 or 11, just in case there is a long line. Girls stop getting in for free typically around 12:30 to 1 a.m. So we got to XS, and I asked the bouncer, I was like, okay, can you tell me where the promoter line is? Because I typically knew it was at the back, but sometimes they change it, so I just want to be sure. So I was like, do you know where the line is? And he was like, yeah, it's this one over here. So I got into line. I immediately noticed there's a lot of guys in line, and everybody around us seems to say that they have tickets, which was weird to me because I was like, huh, this is the promoter line, why are there tickets? But, you know, I didn't question it. I know that typically there's always going to be a long line just because every given weekend people are coming from out of town to visit Vegas. So I didn't question it, whatever. 2.5 hours come by. It's almost 1 a.m. and DJs usually don't come on till 1 or 1:30. So we get to the front of the line finally, and they're like, oh, can we see your tickets? And I was like, no, we're actually on a guest list. Bouncer looks at us and he's like, you waited in this line this whole time when you were on a list? And I was like, yeah, I mean, multiple security guards told me that this was the list, even when I was like, like they were like, this is a line. He was like, no, the line is like all the way over there. And Connie's like really annoyed at this point because I get it, she's wearing heels. You typically wear heels to a club. I was wearing my go-to like clubbing heels, which I mentioned in my last video. If you haven't seen it, my shoe collection, I talk all about it and why it's like the greatest pair of clubbing heels ever. I'll link that down below if you haven't seen it. But anyway, she was over at this point, and so we went to the other line, and it wasn't that long, honestly. We could have made it, but at this point she was like, no, like I want to go, like let's go meet up with everybody else. And don't get me wrong, I totally understand where she was coming from because that line was already killer, and to have to say another line is like ridiculous. But part of me was just like, well, we already made it this far, and by the time we leave to go somewhere else, we will already be in the club, like from the line. Do you get what I mean? Like even if it took like 20 minutes to leave the club because she wanted to get a drink first, like it would have only probably taken 20 minutes or less to get into the club and thus, you know, not have to leave. And, you know, honestly, like, it kind of sucked because what we ended up doing was we ended up going to Apex because she and the other friends were staying at Palms, and that was a really fun time. Like, I'm not knocking the time at all. I think it was still a fun night, but it just made me sad because we kind of planned this outing together, and it was, like, so close but so far. And at the same time, like, I really just wanted to spend like one-on-one time with Connie because, you know, she's my best friend from preschool and we don't live in the same city anymore, and she sees those people like literally every week, you know. So I totally get not wanting to wait in line, and, you know, it was the bouncer's fault at the end of the day for pointing us to the wrong line, but also maybe I should have known. But anyway, we didn't end up getting to see them, which really sucked because they were literally coming on in 10 minutes. So we could have totally made it, but she didn't want to, which kind of sucked after all the trouble that we went to and, you know, me putting our names on a list and all that stuff. But you know what, whatever. There's another time for another situation. But the real kicker was later that night. We got back to my place at like 3:30, and whenever we go out I bring a smaller purse because typically, you know, you bring crossbodies to the club, you don't bring your like full-on like duffel bag. So being an idiot, I was like, oh, you know, like I don't want to carry my big car keys, like my primary key which is attached to my car keys, so I'm just gonna bring the spare key which isn't attached to anything. I lost it. I don't know how. I think it must have happened when I was taking out my ID to show the bouncer. Maybe I accidentally took out the key as well. I really don't know how that happened. I don't think I've ever lost a key before, but I did. And we're at my apartment. The Uber was about to drop us off and I was like, crap, I don't have the keys. And luckily, this is why I love Connie, because like she immediately thinks of a solution for everything. She's like, oh, just call a locksmith. And I was like, what, really? Like they can just do that? And she was like, yeah. And luckily, Vegas is a 24/7 town. So we ended up finding a 24/7 locksmith. He was at my apartment within like 25 minutes, and basically he was like, oh, this isn't a lock that you can pick. It's like just a deadbolt system. So he had to completely take away my old lock, like take it out and everything, let us in, and then replace it with a new deadbolt system, which, you know, it's fine because it was basically the only way I was gonna get in. It's not like I could call the apartment, call the landlord. It was 3:30 in the morning on a Saturday night, okay? Like even the next day, it's a Sunday, they weren't gonna be here. So luckily he was here and that happened, and he saved us, literally saved us, because my dog was inside and like she knew we were outside, but she was probably confused because she was like, why can't you just come inside? But yeah, I mean, it was crazy because it was like, man, the last thing that could go wrong. Thankfully, you know, I had my ID so I could verify that it was my apartment, that I wasn't trying to like break into someone else's apartment, which I didn't even think about, obviously. I mean, I'm sure it's a really big safety hazard that they, you know, like want to ensure. Very grateful that that service exists, because if he didn't do that, then I don't know if I would be able to even make this video. So yes, but anyway, that is pretty much like all the fun tea I had for you. Crazy weekend. It was fun. I'll enter some photos, and I don't really talk about my personal Instagram just because this is a makeup channel, but if you do want to follow my personal Instagram where I share like stuff that happens in my life, it's just Ashley is Wong. So instead of Ashley B Wong, it's Ashley is Wong, like I am Wong, because my last name is Wong, so I make like a pun out of it. Anyway, so now I'm gonna get started on my eyes. I'm going to use the BH Cosmetics Glam Reflection Palette. I believe I've used this once before in a dramatic rose gold makeup tutorial. I'll link that down below if you haven't seen it. It's one of the first tutorials I did, but this palette is honestly so good and the packaging is so dope. And you know, I'm wearing pink, so I want to do like something pink today. I'm going to start off with this pinky transition color right here. These shadows are so pigmented and so blendable. I'm going to fluff that into the crease. Like, do you see that payoff right away? It's insane. I'm just going to basically put this everywhere. Like I said, I'm not going anywhere really exciting today. Maybe just the mall and some other places. Then I'm going to take this other pink right here, and I'm going to just kind of put this on my outer V. Just like very... Look how pigmented that is right away. It's insane. I don't know how they do it, and I believe this palette was like $10 to $15. And BH Cosmetics is always having a sale, so you can get things for like super cheap. Always. Like 30% off sales, and they'll like throw in free gifts or something. It's really awesome. Just going to drag this through the crease. And I've been really into putting shadows like all over the lid with my fingers. So I'm going to take this pinky color right here, and with my index finger, it's like this really pretty like duochrome. Just going to pop this all over the lid. And this way you don't get any fallout, you get the most payoff, and it's just like a dream with shimmers and foil shades. Like I don't even really do the whole like wet my brush thing anymore unless I'm layering foils, and like I can't like obviously pack on like two with the same finger at the same time. But to put down an initial like lid color, I love this. I'm going to go back into that pinky transition color, and I'm going to just smooth out the edges. Then I'm going to grab this purpley plum shade, and with a liner brush, I am going to just stamp that really close to my lash line. I'm also going to put that on my lower lash line as well, really close. And then to blow out that color a little bit, I'm going to go back into that pinky shade right here, and this is by Morphe M506. Just going to blow out the lower lash line ever so slightly. I love working with this palette. Every single time, it amazes me. Seriously, such an underrated palette. Like, I think they have 3 different versions of the Glam Reflection. You could travel with this. It's really sturdy packaging, has a fantastic mirror, and honestly better than some high-end shadows that I've used. It's really, really good stuff. I'm going to go back in with this MegaGlo highlighting powder, what I used on my face, in the shade Precious Petals. This has like a peachy tint to it, which I thought would be super flattering. I'm just going to put that on my inner corners. I'm also going to put this on my brow bone. So next week, I am planning on doing my cat Halloween makeup tutorial. I wanted to do it like closer to Halloween, just so that if anybody was looking for like a last minute makeup idea, that would be there for you. So don't worry, that is coming next week. Should be. Okay, let's go ahead and put some mascara on. Today I'm going to be going with the Essence Forbidden Volume Mascara Rebel. Just gonna curl my lashes. First, I'm gonna apply this Essence Volume Booster Lash Primer. Now I'm gonna go in with that mascara. Then I'm going to go in with this LA Girl Stay Auto Ultimate Lip Liner. This stuff is so good. I'm gonna definitely be talking about this in my favorites as well. This is in the shade Nonstop Nude. And then for my lips, I'm going to take the NYX Liquid Suede Liquid Lipstick in the shade Soft Spoken. I haven't used this in a while, and I love like how it's like a deeper Your Lips But Better. And I thought it would go cute with like the pink eyes. Alright, and then to set the face, I'm going in with the ColourPop All-Star Matte Setting Spray. Alright everyone, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed just hanging out, doing a more laid back, chill, chit chat, get ready with me. I was looking back on my channel and realized I hadn't done this in several months. Like, I've just been doing like makeup tutorials, so I wanted to just sit back and share a few things that have been going on in my life. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I would truly appreciate it. And yeah, I hope to see you in my next video. Mwah! Bye.